Hi, you guys. Kel, Adam, how you doing?
Hello, beautiful ladies.
Well.
There's nothing much else to add after that.
No, and thank you for listening. Goodbye. No, we are heading into season 10, episode 11. And what we will try to determine this week, you guys, is whether or not Sarah Jessica Parker is a collector or a thief. We'll talk about that. Also tell you about how Mel Gibson got tapped to direct the next installment of Lethal Weapon. So he's going to be busy. And how much work one ginger put into portraying another ginger. I know it's that little hang time of silence is Sharon's happy with her coyness. Kelly's going to test us on the sometimes impossible trivia a la 90's. And I'm going to give you a 90's rewind that'll will really take you back to somewhere in our favorite decade. But you know what? One of the biggest social awareness moments that perpetuated one great big divide and many elements of that great big divide, big enough to have created the reference wardrobe malfunction, is the source of a new docuseries. So let's start there, because I would be beaten down by one Kelly Alexander if we did not talk about this big Janet Jackson news. Before we got to accidentally meet Janet Jackson's breasts, or at least one of them, due to what was called the wardrobe malfunction, there was no actual specific terminology for one accidentally exposing oneself.
That's crazy.
It's crazy that it's 17 years later and it's still relevant. It's incredible. And by it, I mean the incident, not, well, her breast is probably relevant on a different level, but what we're talking about is the incident. Now, Kel, what do you know about this docuseries?
Well, I know that it's coming out very soon. I believe at the end of this week of our recording, and so that's happening. The thing that I will say, so they say in the article that we read that they're going to have a lot of like insiders, people that were actually in the control room during the Super Bowl back in 2004. They're also interviewing some Jackson family members and all that sort of stuff. Here's the part that concerns me, and I'm not sure if, because I did see a clip of, I believe it was Tito Jackson being interviewed about the situation. As far as I know, at this point, Janet is not in this documentary. So
not one part of her.
Not one part of her. So I don't know, like, if she's actually signed off on this, or if like she's let it be okay that her brothers talk, in her place. But as we've known before, some of the Jacksons talk either when they are or not supposed to talk. So we'll see.
Are you talking about LaToya?
Pardon?
Are you talking about LaToya?
Well, in the past, but now I love LaToya. Do you follow her on Instagram? She's a hoot. I have to tell you.
Awesome. No, I won't, but I will. Thank you.
Oh my God, she's amazing. So yeah, that's the only concern, is that I don't know if Janet is a willing participant and or a willing, like on board with this is my concern. And so we'll just see, like, hopefully they will portray the facts accurately. And it does seem like in the article again that we read that they're obviously showcasing the trial that Janet went through, because she was treated extremely differently than what Justin Timberlake went through for the same incident.
And isn't it amazing that happened? It was a routine and it happened, but in the routine, he was the aggressor,
right?
Meaning he was the ripper of the clothes.
Yeah.
So he was the one that exposed her.
Yeah. And I have no inside knowledge, but we've talked about this on this program before. Like, as far as I'm concerned, Sharon, the move that happened where she was exposed, I believe was supposed to happen. I think all of that was supposed to happen, but I think there was a piece that was supposed to stay on that didn't. So hence the wardrobe malfunction, because, and, people have hypothesized for years that, Janet wanted to shock everybody. Janet has never been that artist. Like, she is solid. She cares about her fans. She never offends people. So for all of a sudden in front of the entire planet to have her breast reveal, like, that's not, if you look at her MO as an artist, that was never part of her MO up until that point. And even after, like, when you go to her concert, she dances sexy on guys, like all that kind of stuff, but not in front of like, millions of people watching. So I really don't believe that was ever part of her plan. And it's just tragic that she got treated differently. And there's been rumors for years about just how upset the network was with her. And then they blackballed her,
which is like ridiculous, because it was
nominated or invited to events
But
like award shows.
It was only 17 years ago. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't the 80s or the 70s or like, I don't know at what point it's okay to acknowledge body parts as okay. Do you know, like we all have them. So like, clearly this was something that was supposed to happen, but not exactly.
Yeah.
But mistakes happen. So we're not to forgive and move on, or we're only to forgive the male.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you remember, like he apologized very quickly
and then never again.
And then,
right.
And then it was like all was forgiven. And then I don't think whoever the powers that be liked that Janet, I don't think, said what they thought she should be saying after the event. And so then it was just off to the races and she was like totally screwed over. And then that album just didn't get the love. Like there was spins that didn't happen on radio stations because the network that it happened on has ties to radio stations. So she never got the support of that album. And like I said, I don't think she was invited to the Grammys that year. I think she was disinvited, to be honest. And or unofficially disinvited, whatever you want to call it. So it was just not good at all. And then I don't know if you remember, you and I have spoken about this before, Sharon, but there was, I believe some lady from like Tennessee that went to the FCC and said they were like emotionally scarred.
Imagine, like, I can't even, when women do that to women, it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy when women turn on women. When people turn on people, I don't like it, period. But there's something about, like, there's always been an imbalance in how men and women are treated. It's still happening. It's mind blowing, but it's happening. So that for a woman to turn on a woman, I can't even handle it.
Yeah. And then it was funny because Janet, I think, I don't know if it was not long after, but like, she has ties to Europe quite a bit. And over there, like nobody cared. Like nobody cared because there's lots of like, nude beaches over there. And like, it just wasn't a big deal. But in the United States, it was treated like, oh my God, she had wrecked America.
Yeah. You know what? There's so many other elements of America in air quotes that are wrecking things that they're not acknowledging. So, and no offense to individuals, but you can't hide the truth, and you can't make the truth up.
But I just think it's incredulous that they thought that she would really want to scare, or like scar, not even scar children watching, you know what I mean? Like Janet's very aware of her audience, very aware, whether it's at her concert, at like an award show, like she tailors her performances for whatever audience she has. So she knew, I'm sure, the demographics that were watching that show,
Oh, for sure. It's so silly. How could you be scarred by a body part that everybody has? Everybody, in this case, everybody. Yeah. All of the genders. Everybody has breasts. Oh, yeah, I said breasts. Like, please.
Yeah. It'll be interesting though, in the new year, as we've talked about, Janet's own documentary is coming out. And so it'll be interesting to see if she touches on the Super Bowl or doesn't, because she has that choice, seeing as how it's her doc.
That's another thing too. We are talking about the halftime show of a male-dominated audience. Certainly they're male-dominated sports, all males. But the audience is predominantly male. They would have enjoyed, I think, the accident that happened, if we're stereotyping, which they kind of did. Anyways, they stereotyped in a way to make it very bad for that to have happened in the first place. And maybe they did it. Maybe there was maybe they were actively participating in creating this drama around this because it did generate more attention to it. So they benefited from the drama around it. They themselves benefited from the putting down of Janet Jackson. Yeah. It's low. I don't like it. This
documentary is what it sounds like it's trying to be. So that's my hope, that it actually shines lights on how she was truly treated terribly.
Indeed. Adam has a question. Is it breast related?
Close. Because I'm reading, this is a 10 episode docuseries. That seems like a lot of time to cover a 5-second incident. What are they going to talk about for 10 episodes? Feels like it could be wrapped up in an hour and a half.
I'm assuming they're going to delve into every part of it, right? Like the network side, the FCC side, the artist side, the fan follow, like even though Janet's fans totally stepped up for her, and I know a lot of the other artists stepped up on her behalf, But I'm sure they're obviously going to, sort of cover for sure how Justin Timberlake's career took off and Janet's didn't in that moment.
Sure.
Hopefully she's such a legendary artist that she survived the blip, and kept.
Mhm.
And I wonder too, like if that had been Madonna, whose cleavage had popped out, would this have been the same outcry?
Right. Good question.
Because
Had Madonna done her sex book at that time? Yes.
yeah, Madonna's 93 came out. It came out,
Yeah.
the sex book, I think. So, and Madonna, if you look at her MO, again, I know Madonna's more intelligent than that. Like I don't see her, but like you could have seen that that would have been something she might have tried, even though I think Madonna's way more, again, knowing that there's 6-year-olds watching or whatever, but her MO is way more suited to that incident happening than Janet's. So,
Yep.
yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Didn't know.
Yeah, that's shocking news. I'm glad I was sitting down for the love expressed for Janet Jackson from Kelly Alexander. Good times. Well, good luck to that, to Janet, of course, as always. Kelly, I know I'm just doing my part here.
Yep.
But also to that docuseries, which we would have access through Hulu,
And
wherever that is.
No, it's November 19th, right, Sharon? I think.
Yeah, so likely by the time you're hearing this show, you have made the choice to listen to 90s Now and then made a mental note to check out Malfunction, the dressing down of Janet Jackson.
I wonder who came up with that snappy title.
Malfunction. God, we've been saying that word more than ever since 2004. Thank you, Janet's breast. I'm not giving Justin any credit for that. It's the breast. Are you guys ready to do some trivia?
We're never ready, but let's do it.
Good point, Adam. Good point.
Do it.
90s Now trivia.
Bing bong.
Bing bong is right.
Ready for the cards? Ready for the cards?
Yes.
Let's see.
It was funny. I actually was going through them earlier before we started recording the show. And I found one that I'd asked you guys several months back about what was like the first color, I think, of like one of the Apple products. And it was like blue or turquoise.
Cyan
or something.
blue.
And
Cyan.
the whole fancy thing was like, fancy turquoise ! And so I'm like, okay. So this particular category is who said or sang that?
She's really dumbed it down for us. Good. I'm ready.
So, the quote is, during my service in the United States Congress, I took the initiative in creating the internet. That's a big, that's a big take. You know what I mean?
Is it an artist?
No.
No, during my time in Congress.
I know, but I was going to allude to Kanye because he said some nutty stuff.
That sounds like something Donald Trump would have said.
Except he wasn't in Congress.
He wasn't
I
in
know.
Congress. So is that
That's
your
why
guess,
that's
Adam?
not my answer. No,
Al Gore. Sharon. Al Gore.
It is Al Gore.
Yep. I knew that.
Good
that would have
job,
been my
Sharon.
guess.
It was crazy because you went from like uncertainty in the eyeballs to like ding, ding,
Click,
ding.
click.
Yeah.
I know. I've been medicated today. It's gonna be a lot of that today.
Adam, do you know who Al Gore is?
I do know who Al Gore is. It would have been my guess actually if Sharon gave me some time.
Okay, great.
No.
So
No time
we
for
didn't
you.
give you any time though. All right. So
No.
the next question is, wait, where did my one go that I really liked? All right, here we go. This is a TV question. In what year was the X-Files pilot episode broadcast?
I have no idea.
Well, here's the
Name.
thing, Adam. Somewhere in the 90s.
I know.
Good.
But sometimes if it's towards the end, if it's in the
Right.
middle, if it's
Pick
the
a year,
beginning,
Adam.
95.
No, Sharon.
Good
Oh.
thing because he didn't use his buzzer. So Sharon, 1994.
Close. 93.
Damn it.
How long did it
Either of
last
you-
for?
Were either of you X-Files fans?
No, that weird stuff freaks me out.
Yeah, me too, Sharon. I don't do it.
I've never given it a try actually. I might like it.
I think you would like it, Adam.
Was it on for like 20 years or like was it on for
Well, it was
It's on for
on
a good
for a
while.
solid chunk. Then it came off, and then did they have a movie, Sharon, or there was like a reboot
Yep.
for a bit? I think they did a reboot, right, for a bit.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
my
there was a
better
movie
half
too.
is a huge fan of the Scully and the whatever the other guy's name is.
Mulder.
Scully and
Mulder.
Mully. Yeah. So she was a huge fan, but I don't think she really liked the reboot. Sometimes there are shows that you need to leave back there.
It's true.
Yes, it was on from 93 to 2002
Okay.
and 2016 to 2018.
Here we go.
That's a good run though for a reboot that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they gave it a couple of episodes.
Like the reboot that's working incredibly well is the Connors.
Love it.
Roseanne. Like
I love it. It's so good.
Yeah.
It really, to me though, I find it interesting how it highlights where they are in a socioeconomic from a socioeconomic standpoint. Because I knew that they touched on it. I remember they touched on it on Roseanne, but they really get in, like they've been in some pretty serious situations on the show on the Connors. So it's interesting. It's very very au courant, as we say.
Yeah.
I don't know who says that, but when
Adam
I say
at
it, I sound like this. Au courant. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I love the Connors. Again, I was medicated today, so
we should do the show like this more often.
Full disclosure, I had a colonoscopy today. I have family history, so I have to do things like that every 5 years. Not fun, but necessary, and it's done. Woot. But do you know what the drug? There was 2 drugs that they gave me. I don't remember the second one. But the first one that really sticks out because it often makes the news, fentanyl.
Oh, is really?
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
I tell you, it's one of the best naps you'll ever have. Honestly.
Is that after the procedure? Well, not procedure.
During,
is that
right?
No, that's before before, so they can go on up. Good times. Yeah.
I had to
And
do well, Sharon knows this. I had to do it a few years ago. I think in fall of 2017, I think it was, because there was like a scare in my esophagus or whatever. So they wanted to check all the business. And so I remember it was either the doctor or the dude who was putting me under. They said something like, tell us which university you went to. And I was like, like,
yeah. I don't even remember them asking me anything because I was all set, because I remembered that from last time too. This time, just before she put the needle in my IV, I just said, thank you in advance. And then that was it. That's all I recall.
And I remember too, like, I don't know how you woke up in the recovery room, but I haven't been put under in many, many years. Like I haven't, and I've never done drugs. So like, I just don't have experience with all of that. So when I woke up, I just remember I was like, I'm awake. Like it was just, and it was like, and I just remember being in the recovery room and taking that first like 10 seconds going, where in the hell am I? And then like, it took a while to like kick in. And then I just remember like, cause you kind of come out of it very fast and whatever. And I think they made me, I don't know, Sharon, like, was it 20, 30 minutes? They make you kind of recover and then they want you out of there. Like they want you out.
Yeah. Half an hour.
So they had my better half come in to get me, because of course they don't want you driving or any of that stuff. And I just remember like walking down the corridor with her, like very sort of like, what just happened? And I'm very aware of everything.
Yeah. Because you're empty.
Yeah.
There's an echo. You're so empty. And you're so happy it's done. But you're starting to like piece things together. They did that, didn't they? You know? They went in through the outdoor. Great.
And then I wasn't sure too at that time, like if I was gonna have a reaction of feeling nauseous to the drugs. Like you don't know, right? Like when you wake up. So I was super happy that I wasn't. And then I just remember Elaine goes like, what do you want to eat? Because we haven't eaten right in so long. And I'm like, eggs and bacon. Like I was ready to go.
Yeah. And it's not like you want anything junky. You just want something good. And you know that anything is going to taste good because you haven't had anything solid in a full 24 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But
look
I
what
made,
you get to look forward to, Adam.
I made Jello.
So exciting. Wow. Can't wait.
You know what you'll have that day? You'll have maybe scrambled eggs for breakfast the day before, and then you'll have broth for lunch and broth for dinner. And in between, you'll have Jello. Oh, I know. And maybe tea, no milk. Okay. Yum. So good.
Hmm.
Oh, and the compliment, of course, is the prep that comes with it, which I swear to you is a container this big,
Yeah.
like a
And
foot
does it
high.
taste like super disgusting?
Yeah. Well, not
Yeah,
super
I've been told
disgusting. It's
that.
just not something the whole time you're like, I would never choose this drink, like,
You have to drink it all, right?
yeah, it's mostly clear, but it has very powerful effects. So there
Hmm.
you are. You have to drink 2 liters the night before and then 2 liters in the morning. Oh,
might
can I
have
show
to
you
call
I
something?
know about it.
I might
Yeah.
have to call my mother, Sharon, because she's doing it next week.
Oh, fun. Lucky
You
her.
might want a pep talk.
Give her the pep talk.
I want to show you something. It's on my story on Instagram, but by the time this show airs, it will be off my story. Maybe I'll create a highlight reel for it. I was playing Words with Friends this morning, and I have referred to colonoscopy probably in a text, certainly out loud, not like I didn't overuse the term, let's say.
Yeah.
So I'm playing Words with Friends this morning as I'm drinking the last 2 liters of the stuff. And one of the ads that comes up is for a game where you pull the pins. And can you see that?
No.
It says,
Nope.
think before you pull. Sorry, let me do this. Oh, darn
Still
it.
no.
It's so effective.
We'll
Okay,
have
I don't-
to trust your word on it.
Yeah, well, you know what it is? It's a game that has like a pipe and it flushes. How about that? Ooh,
Oh, there we
now
go.
That's one of them.
Oh, God.
Okay, so there's a person making a face up here. There's a big ball of stuff, and then it's going to come through those pipes and into that bucket.
Okay.
Kind of
They know
exactly
everything.
what you have to go through in prepping
know-
for the colonoscopy. I thought that was not good, but weird. And everybody's listening. Do you know what I mean? Holy.
Hmm.
Anyways, enough about my insides. Shall we talk about the thievery of Sarah Jessica Parker?
Yes.
That's a
I guess we
normal
have to.
segue. I let some crap go. She collects crap. How about that? There's the tie-in. She has kept every single thing from Sex and the City and the movies. And in a recent interview, actually, that we'll get to see the full interview in Vogue magazine because it's their December issue. She says that she, quote, had all of the original stuff in her own storage. Furniture,
Wow.
clothes, everything packed according to season and episode and scene. She says, quote, I kept every single solitary thing, end quote. Okay.
Wow.
So,
You probably
I guess-
needed an external storage unit.
well, probably. And interesting. I don't know. Normally you're not allowed doing that stuff, but maybe she was
She was
allowed. So
the
I guess
producer
she's
of the
not a
show, right?
thief. Hmm?
She was the executive producer of the show.
So she decided that she could keep it. That's good.
I think she was one of the executive producers of the show. So
Well, the one cool thing that she didn't get to keep is actually on the auction block to do some good. So that famous tutu skirt of hers was kept by a former costume designer named Patricia Field, and she's put it up on the auction block, and it will benefit the there's a nonprofit working to support those living with HIV/AIDS and the homeless. So that tutu will continue to do good.
that's amazing. And I bet you it won't be long before she probably does put her stuff up for auction, like maybe in another 10 years or so. Like she'll probably
Yeah. Well, she should, because it's all categorized. The work's already done. If she can get some funds raised out of that.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah.
well, not to bring Janet back in, but to bring Janet back in for her birthday this year. We've talked about it. They did that big auction of like a bunch of her tour clothes, movie stuff, like everything. And she raised some serious coin, all for a good cause, which was amazing.
Awesome. I referred to I was being tongue in cheeky before talking about one ginger putting everything she had into playing another ginger. We're talking about Nicole Kidman, and that she'll be playing Lucille Ball in that movie. That movie. I don't remember the dates of the movie. About it's before Christmas. Being the Ricardos is the name of the movie. And Nicole Kidman talked about her commitment to getting it right, which was that she said, it was my obsession to get it absolutely accurate. Because you can imagine all the other American redheads who would be who were interested in doing the role themselves, let's say.
Mhm.
That Nicole Kidman got it. And I think that she's an excellent actress, so she can pull it off no problem. I think it'll be interesting too to see Javier Bardem playing Desi Arnaz.
You know who would have been amazing at it? And again, I think Nicole Kidman obviously is a good choice, but because we've seen her in action already, is Deborah Messing.
Yes, exactly. And I think she wanted it too. So
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because she totally killed it in Will and Grace. Like she totally killed that
Yeah.
that episode. She was amazing. And I
Agreed.
they talked a little bit about they used real grapes in the scene again for that grape scene of the
Oh
smooching.
yeah.
I wonder how many chocolates they actually ate in the chocolate scene. Like I'm sure they've included that as well.
Oh my gosh. Those are classic television moments. Lucille Ball was a pioneer for funny, period, but for funny women, certainly. It's kind of funny. Mel Gibson, right? He's a laugh a minute. Actually had some good, he was funny in the Lethal Weapon movies, that's for sure. And it's him that's going to be directing the 5th part of that series. And it's at the direction of the late Richard Donner, who was the producer director on the films prior. Mel Gibson said that Richard Donner had been working on the screenplay and was pretty far along with it, but told him, listen, kid, if I kick the bucket, you'll do it. And that's a quote. And he was like, whatever, I don't want to talk about that. But Richard Donner actually did pass away this past summer, 91 years old and working on Lethal Weapon 5. Believe that? But he had expressed his wishes to his wife and the producer of the film. So it will be Mel Gibson that's directing Lethal Weapon 5, and work on that will start in the new year. Yes, we said it, the new year, because it's November.
Coming soon.
Coming soon, the new year.
What's bananas is that it didn't sound like Danny Glover has fully signed on yet, though.
Nobody sounds like they made it sound optimistic.
Yeah, okay. Because it's
Well,
not
they
Lethal
couldn't get
Weapon,
anybody
but
else.
Danny Glover dealing
Agreed.
like, the Mel
I
Gibson
agree.
character. So,
And just to give some extra background and credit to Richard Donner, he directed and often produced movies that include The Omen, which if you've never seen, you should. It's scary. Superman, The Goonies, and Scrooged, and more. But those are some pretty solid highlights there. Now, are you guys ready to go back in a rewind fashion?
Yes, we are.
the two of you always make me a little seasick when you do those moves.
Imagine how we feel. We're committed to this character, Kel.
When did you bring us back, Sharon?
Well, I'm bringing you back to 1991. You know why?
Before
You're in
my time.
love. You're in love. That's the way it should be. Because I want you to be happy. Wilson Phillips. Thank you very much. I do want you to be happy, but Wilson Phillips said it first. They eventually topped the chart with that song, You're in Love, but showed its humble dropping around this point, still hanging on to the charts at number 53. See, I went outside just the tops. I went into the 50s there.
Yeah.
How about Mama Said Knock You Out? I'm going to knock you out. Sorry. What, Kel?
Such a good song.
Yeah. He's a Rock Hall inductee and certainly one of the signature tunes that would have put LL Cool James in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Number 25 around this time back in 91. How about I throw this title at you? Strike It Up.
Oh, Black Box.
No hesitation on that one. That song peaked at number 16 around this time in 1991, but it remains one of the most iconic dance floor anthems of our favorite decade. That's for sure. And since we're talking about icons from our favorite decade, how about our friend Crystal Waters?
Nice.
She's homely. Gypsy Woman, that peaked on the Hot 100 at number 37, which is great because it's in the top 40. It means it's a hit. I think it means more money, but it was also a big jump from number 50, which is where she was before. So good on Crystal Waters with Gypsy Woman.
I have a Crystal Waters quick story for you, which is amazing. You ready for this?
Good. Yes.
So please go follow her on Instagram and social media if you haven't done that. It's at Crystal Waters. And she had, I believe it was a TV station somewhere in New York. I think it's in New York City. They just did a retrospective on her, like a 5-minute piece that they ran on their, I believe it was their morning show. And it's on her Instagram, and it's totally worth the watch because it takes you back over like in a 5-minute period. So you're not, having to invest like a 2-hour block of your time. Even though you should, because it's Crystal, but it's just such a great retrospective, like of some background facts that I don't think even I knew all of them. which was like great. And the girl who put it together, the announcer, was amazing. And they actually got Crystal, and she did a little interview that they interspersed with these background clips. It's fantastic. So definitely check out Crystal Waters' Instagram. And also want to give a shout out to her because she just dropped the song with a DJ called Flash Mob. And the song is called I Gave You the World. And it is absolutely fantastic. It sounds something like that would have been in the 90s, but it's in 2021. Fantastic.
I'll take it.
Amazing.
Awesome. So what you're saying is that when they asked her to do it, she didn't say, nope.
Yeah.
She said yes.
She did.
Good times. Well, we have reached the end of our showgram here today, you guys. We've exhausted our topics. And
we've exhausted our audience with colonoscopy talk.
Yes, for the next episode of This Is Your Colon.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. For this one and only.
I'm glad you shared it, Sharon, because I think it's really important for everybody to realize like it's important to get it done. And especially like that if you have a family history, like I have family history with breast cancer.
Same.
So that's super important as well. So I think it's really great that everybody takes care of their health.
Yeah, take care of your stuff and don't be afraid to do things. I mean, there's no denying how gross the prep for this is, but it's temporary, you know, it's a necessary means to a positive end. Get it? End. I know the jokes are endless. Thank you, Kel. Thank you, Adam. And thank you all for listening to 90s Now. We appreciate it wherever you're doing that, wherever you find us, wherever you are when you eventually find us, and that you're passing it on to your best friends. We're talking about 90s Now. Still happening.